Well, joining us now with his view on the recent testimony and what we'll hear from the Prime Minister later today is Conservative leader Andrew Scheer. He is joining us from Quebec City this morning. Good to have you with us.
Good morning.
You have repeatedly called for Prime Minister Trudeau to step down, to resign. He has repeatedly responded he's not going to resign. Are you not sacrificing an opportunity to push for some tangible action by repeatedly calling for resignation? Is this not a better use to just ask him what happened, get some clear answers from him?
Well, he is accused of corruption in the very highest levels of his government, including himself, using his position of power to interfere in an independent criminal court case. That is a very serious charge. And as we've seen from the past few days, this government has completely ground to a halt. The entire capacity of the Prime Minister's office is focused on damage control instead of providing good government to Canadians. And that's why I called on him to step aside while these investigations took place. In the meantime, we have been calling for other measures to happen. We believe the gag order should be lifted from Ms. Wilson-Raybould's ability to speak to the period of time after she was removed as Attorney General to when she resigned from Cabinet. We want the Justice Committee to continue doing its work. The Liberals used their majority to vote that down yesterday. So we're going to continue to put pressure on this. But again, because we're talking about the very sleazy and shady acts of corrupt interference into a criminal court case, I believe that those calls for resignation and for an RCMP investigation were completely justified.
Gerald Butts testified yesterday nothing happened, quote, beyond the normal operations of government. Jody Wilson-Raybould, in her testimony, said she believed that nothing illegal had occurred. Given that remediation agreements are legal, how would your government have handled SNC any differently? Would you have stood by a decision that could have cost you jobs/votes in Quebec?
Well, first of all, for Mr. Butts to say that this was the normal course of government, maybe in a Liberal government, but you can't look at a situation where this government has been in crisis, 2 high-profile resignations, and again, the entire mechanics of government completely consumed with damage control, and call that normal operations of government. There's no question that the DPAs, the Deferred Prosecution Agreement, is legal. It exists in law. Parliament passed it. Mind you, in an omnibus budget bill without proper analysis, but there it is, it's in law. What's not okay, what Canadians should be outraged about, is when an independent prosecutor makes a decision, rules that snc-lavalin can't qualify for that agreement, that then officials in the Prime Minister's office, including Justin Trudeau himself, went to work to interfere. That's the point of this whole scandal that we have to remain focused on. Parliament gives tools to judges and prosecutors to carry out the course of justice. That's normal, and nobody's disputing that. But what's never okay is for powerful politicians using their high office to get their friends off the hook, to start interfering. We don't want to be that country. There's no justification for undermining the rule of law in this country.
So,
we have to
Scheer,
remain a country where there's one set of rules for everyone.
My question then is, would your government have handled SNC any differently?
What we would have done is we would have let the course of justice take its course. We would have allowed the independent Crown prosecutor to make those decisions free from political interference. And we never, ever would have started to use bully tactics to get the Attorney General of Canada, the chief legal officer in this country, to interfere in a criminal court case. We don't want to live in that kind of a country where politicians have that power. We see what happens in other countries. People leave those countries to come to Canada because of our democratic institutions, because of our rule of law, because of the society we built. We can't lose that because some Liberals are just trying to help their friends.
Mr. Scheer, thanks for joining us this morning from Quebec City.
Thank you very much.